I moved from paying back during tax season or receiving very low refunds to maximizing my refunds and getting thousands of dollars in refunds. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining all of the tax credit and deductions and expenses that I usually claim to increase my refunds. And I'm also going to be showing you how you can find tax credits and deductions that you can claim, because again, there are so many. And so you just have to find what's applicable to your situation. So if you're interested in reducing your taxes and increasing your refunds to get more money back from the CRA, make sure you watch this video to the end. So the very first strategy that I use, or deduction that I use to reduce my taxable income, is to make sure that all through the year I'm investing into my RRSP and FHSA accounts. So for each year, I try to estimate early on how much I could put in those accounts. And so if you haven't looked at my other video where I talk about the World Simple Tax Calculator, you can actually use that calculator and impute expected income and then put in some numbers for your RRSP and FHSA, and you could see how much your taxable income will be reduced by. So I put some money in those accounts, and when it's time for me to file my taxes, my taxable income gets reduced based on how much I was able to invest in those accounts. Something that people sometimes miss out on here in Canada is that some employers actually offer RRSP matching. What that simply means is under your benefit with your employer, RRSP account is included, and based on whatever quota your employer gives to their employees for RRSP matching, your employer also pays money into that account. So it's always good you opt in for those benefits, because again, it's just free money from your employer that you should also gain, and it also helps to reduce your taxable income. If you haven't asked your employer before, or you haven't actually checked your benefits, that could be one of the benefits you have. Investment account that helps to reduce your taxable income is the FHSA account. And so again, even if it's just $50 a month or $100 a month or whatever you can afford, those numbers quickly accumulate and they would help to reduce your taxable income. The second thing that I do is I work from home. So I make sure to claim work from home expenses. You could see like my setup right behind me. So because I claim work from home expenses, it means that I can get part of my rent back, part of my utilities, and part of my internet services, and even some of the things for home maintenance and upkeep. So to claim work from home expenses, you need to be working at least 50% from home. So like if you work 6 days in a week, it means 3 days have to be like work from home. Or if you work 5 days in a week, it has to be that 3 of those days you're actually working from home. So in the description of the video, I'm going to put the link of all of the details from work from home. And usually you need your employer to give you a T2200 form that just kind of signifies that yes, this person actually worked from home. I keep all of the receipts for my rent. So all of the rent I paid all through the year, my internet bills. Closely related to the work from home is the renters credit. So British Columbia has a rental tax credit where you must have lived in BC for a minimum of 6 months. Each province would have their different tax credits and their deductions. So make sure that whatever province that you're living in, be familiar with what tax credit and deductions are available. In the description of this video, I'm also going to be putting the link that you could use and search by your province what credit or deductions are available to you. So while I'm filing my taxes, there's a place where I have to put in how much rent I paid all through the year. So I just put that in and then I get some credit for that. Something else that I do is tuition credit. So if you're an international student or you're a student that you had to take courses in designated post-secondary institutions in BC, you should receive a tuition tax certificate. Personally, I had a short certificate program in one of the designated institutions here in BC, and I received a tuition certificate, and that would give me some tuition credit that would help me to reduce my taxable income and also possibly increase my refund. So make sure that if you take courses from post-secondary institutions in Canada, that you have your tax certificate, able to claim your tuition amounts, education amounts, and textbook amounts where applicable. Another credit and deduction I like to claim is medical expenses. So medical expenses are paid out of pocket. So for example, if I have a prescription medication, my insurance covers some part and then I have to top up the rest. The part that is not covered by insurance that I had to pay myself, I claim it as part of my taxes. And you can do this for a long list of things. I'm going to be putting the link in the description where you can find all of the eligible things under medical expenses. So not everything is included. So you have to look through to see what's included that you can claim. So normally I would claim for like things like prescription glasses, dental care where I had to pay out of pocket. Something else that I like to claim is charitable deductions. So, if you donate to registered charities both within and outside Canada, there are some eligibility criteria that should be followed. I'm also going to be putting the link. But even if you donate your offerings to church, like so if you go to church and you have offerings, normally you would get a tax receipt at the end of the year, or if you make some donations to some religious organizations or to some non-government organizations. So, for example, if you donate to like the Canadian Cancer Society or Vancouver Symphony, those organizations, and you receive a tax receipt which you can claim for charitable donations to reduce your taxable income and get some money back. Another thing that helps me is things like pension. So if your employer deducts pensions from your paycheck, those also help to reduce your taxable income. So usually in your T4 slip, you would see where your contributions to your pensions are included. And when you put those numbers when you're filing your taxes, it helps to reduce your taxable income as well and increase your refund. Something else that people also miss out is union dues. So if you're part of a union, your union dues can be claimed. So that is something that I also do. Whether it's union dues or some form of professional kind of dues, make sure that you're including it when you're filing your taxes. Something I've also been very mindful of when filing my taxes is, at some point, I'll be working multiple jobs. And so, when your employer deducts from your payroll, they also deduct things for employment insurance and CPP. And usually there's a maximum to how much deductions can be made in a year. So in most cases, when you have multiple employers, you may go over the amount very easily. So looking out for that on like, what's the CPP cap and what's the EI cap for that particular year, and cross-checking all of your paychecks so that you can know if you went over the required maximum amount, and that would help you claim. So what you should do is that make sure that if you're working multiple jobs or you work multiple jobs all through the year, go through all of your paychecks or your T4s and note if you went over the maximum amount for CPP and EI for that particular year. And if you go over the maximum amount, make sure that you're reclaiming back. So there's usually an overpayment form that you can fill to claim back those amounts back. These are some of the and deductions that I personally use. There's a long list of credits and deductions that have been made available by the CRA, and I'm going to be putting it in the link. So if you have a child, things around childcare expenses, if you had to move for medical care, moving expenses, if you're also a low income earner, you could also claim the Canada Workers Benefits. There are a lot. So I'm going to be putting the link in the description, and then you can go in to see what credits and deductions are available in your province or territory, and also at the federal level, and what you may be eligible for. I would be doing a separate video where I'll be going through how to file your taxes using World Simple, and I can show you how I add each of these deductions and credits while I'm filing. So if this has been helpful to you, remember to like, share, and subscribe.